Welcome, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. You're listening to the Shea Vaughn Show, and I'm your host, Shea Vaughn. We're here on WVTVN, the Women's Broadcast Television Network, and I am so excited about my guest today. She's got an amazing event coming up, and she's going to tell us all about it. So let me tell you a little bit about her. Marah B. Fineberg Kirk is the Executive Director and founder of the Symposium of Southern California. Help me welcome her to the show. Welcome, Marah. So good to have you.
Thank you so much, Shea. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Oh, thank you. You know, we're going to dig right in to the event coming up. But before that, I really want you to kind of share with us a little bit about growing up and what that was like. And how did you get to where you are today?
Thank you. Well, I grew up in Southern California in the late 70s, and it was a great time. However, there wasn't much of a path, and I just really decided after college, when my parents said, you better find a job with benefits and health care, don't come home, that I'd take a chance as a financial advisor because we had a nice salary of $28,000 back in 2000. But, I've made my way in a male-dominated industry, and it became very apparent to me over the years that there needs to be a forum for discussion for all women as it relates to financial independence, financial literacy, confidence in leading one's family or oneself, as well as STEM career awareness. There wasn't much of mentorship going on for a lady like me at that time. And I really wanted to create today. I just found it necessary to have a forum for discussion because us women, we learn best when we talk with each other. We don't want to be sold to, we don't want to be talked down to, but we want to learn from one another. And so that's what the Women's Symposium of Southern California is all about.
Well, we call you a CFP, Certified Financial Planner, which that stands for. And I know in conversations that we had prior to this, I was in that industry. And so back then, it really was a men's, team. And it was difficult. There's no question about it. I was Rookie of the Year. I just put it all out of my mind, and I just worked hard. And you just have to do what you can do and be who you are. And people will like you. And if you are good at what you're doing, they need your services. Yeah.
Absolutely. Over the years, I found that being young and being a female, I felt that additional accreditations were needed to feel relevant or have the background. And so becoming a certified financial planner really sets aside myself from other financial professionals who really don't have any regulation, that are typically sales versus a holistic planning style and really doing the right thing. I do have a fiduciary duty, which is the highest standard in the financial planning profession. So it's my goal to recruit other women into to be certified financial planners. In 2014, Fidelity did a study that women are actually very, very good at financial planning. In fact, I would dare to say a little bit better than men in the sense that we care. You can't teach men empathy, and we naturally have that empathetic, nurturing quality about us as women. Also, we are by far a little bit better multitaskers, and it doesn't mean that I'm saying women are better than men. We just have different skill sets that really allow women to align well with the profession of financial planning. And I think it's the math or maybe it's the stigma of Wall Street that has really turned women away from this profession. But I'm here to say it's a great one. You have flexibility. You can still have a family, and you'll be really good at it. So I'm hoping to entice more ladies into the profession as more women are the primary breadwinners of their family. And they are business owners and have a lot of force here in the community as working moms or single moms or just working women who decide that I'm going to make $250,000 a year and I don't want a family. So, I think it's a great thing, and looking forward to helping those get into the profession, as well as I've been fortunate to help so many families and individuals that, specific to women, there's not enough resources for them. In that same Fidelity study in 2014, and I keep going back to that because they are a company that has a lot of breadth and scope, and I'm not employed by them whatsoever, but they have the ability to touch a lot of families and do the research. And so women are the financial decision makers 80% of the time. And yet the confidence that women have for managing money or dealing with money is well in the low teens. And so we have this big disconnect between women who are leading their families and making those financial decisions, but aren't confident about doing so. So how do we close that gap? And that's what the Women's Symposium of Southern California is here for, is to help with those educational resources, those best practices for every day with other professionals or women that have paved a way before them to learn. So
sounds great, and certainly WBTVN and myself are here to support that. And,
absolutely, thank you so much.
And to drive traffic, because I think that this is something, whether somebody wants to actually become, a CFP, that they're going to get a lot of information that is going to help them, and maybe even give them a wake-up call as to the importance of at least knowing where your finances are, what they're invested in, how the bills get paid. I mean, all of these things, but they don't necessarily have to be, come into the business to do that. This is kind of a wake-up call for everybody that financially doesn't feel comfortable, but really wants to, to have some knowledge and not to find themselves in a situation, oh my gosh, now what do I do?
Absolutely. It's really about improving the quality of life, the financial independence, and the confidence of all women here in Southern California. And it's my lifelong dream that we can take it across the country and around the world.
What's cool, really cool too, is that you are doing it on Women's Day, which is March 8th.
International Women's Day, absolutely. It's a day for us to remember what women have done before us. It's a time for us to reflect on what we can do for ourselves and declare those bold actions and challenge ourselves to take new steps. It's a day for awareness, for furthering the agenda, for really gender parity in so many different levels. And I feel like this is definitely aligned with the core themes and values of International Women's Day. So we will be holding this annual symposium every year on March 8th. Okay,
so interesting that it is, on Women's Day. And that day, as you've mentioned, is March 8th, 2018 right now. And it's going to be from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock.
Absolutely.
The other thing I think we talk about the financial side of it, and they're going to actually see and hear all of that. But you've got other speakers that are going to be coming about empowerment and women standing together, and they've got their own little messages and tips about life and about business. How to take your business, to the next level. All of those kinds of things are going to be there in that short, from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. There's so much that's going to be impacted.
Absolutely. We will have a general session. We are running 5 different topical breakout sessions, and we will be concluding in general session. I think innately there will be great time for networking and meeting others that are going through the same thing. I believe that there will be different information for women at different levels of their life. I like to say if you're just starting your career you're at the beginning of the ladder or if you're at the end of your rope, there will be something to learn for everyone there. Like you had mentioned, from business planning to basic and advanced financial planning and investing. What is the market? How do I achieve more with that if I already have a portfolio? To what are my basic estate planning documents and real estate? What's that about? Is it my first, home? Is it my second home? Is it a reverse mortgage? What does that mean to me? And is that suitable? We will also be talking about balance of career and family life, whether you have children or you're independent. We will be talking about transitioning and reinventing yourself, whether you're widowed, divorced, finding a new career. What does that mean, and what are some of the best tools and best practices?
Right.
I'm excited that we'll also be adding conversations about generations and how the different generations, whether it's baby boomers or millennials, how can we communicate better to uplift our communities together? We also will be talking about probably a lot of what's been going on with sexual harassment in the workplace. Innately, those conversations are going to come out. And what do we do when we're confronted with those challenges? And how do we keep our head high and deal with that going forward with confidence? So I think it's going to be a great program. We're going to have printed educational resources for everyone there on a plethora of topics. And I'm really, really excited for the second annual Women's Symposium of Southern California on March 8th.
We are too, and I'll be there. I want everybody to know that. And one of the other categories is entrepreneurship, and really giving tips on, if you've got an idea and you want to become you want to jump into that, because maybe you're tired of 9 to 5 or whatever it happens to be. You had this desire and this idea about, what you want to do, what you want to let the world know as far as your message is concerned. And you want to be able to connect with like-minded women and collaborate by making partnerships and just getting your message across. This is the program that you should come to the event and learn all about. And it's whether you are just starting out to get into it, or if you're seasoned, or even if you want to just take your business to the next level, this is where you should be. So your website is the website. I think it's
wssocal.org. That's wssocal.org. And you can register for the event there. It was my dream not to have any entries to barrier, so every woman could attend. We are asking for a contribution to the cause of $50 per person, but it is not required to attend. And you can definitely register there. You can find some resources after the event. We will have PDFs of all the educational guides, as you were saying, Shea, from entrepreneurship to all the different topics we had previously mentioned.
Yes.
And, very, very excited for that. We're going to have at least 30 different speakers and presenters in the program. And they are different than what we had last year. Last year we had 200 women, all word of mouth, all grassroots awareness. And thank you so much, Shea, for helping us with your sponsorships and getting the word out there. This is the first year we're really doing marketing, and I'm excited to see where this goes. I hope that someday we are helping all women of Southern California.
Yeah, and it fits right in. I mean, we want to be there because we definitely believe that Women United are changing the world. And we do need to unite and just bring more people into that. And the other thing I want to make sure that I mention is that it's going to be at the Marriott in Long Beach, California. And so all that information is definitely online. And once again, on that website, it's wssocal.org. And I want to just thank you from the bottom of my heart, girl, for being on the show and doing what you're doing, putting yourself out there. And on the financial side of it, I think that's so important because all these women need it. And it's something that we should really embrace because at some point in time, even if it's not important to you right now, it will be. And so come and get some free advice and tips on everything, entrepreneurship, finances, balancing your life, families, all of those things that are so important in our life and can make a difference in our life. So once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you to the audience for joining us today. And remember, I'll be here next week. And until that time, have a great day.